Hello. Today I decided to feature a bit of a shorter clip, and it's division play, not solo play, but I'm playing the Des Moines. And I've had a lot of requests of how the ship is today, and it's honestly still one of my favorite ships. It's extremely situational, but it's also one of those ships that, if the situation favors it, it can be an absolute nightmare. And I kind of picked the scenario here where this ship is an absolute nightmare for the enemy. It's literally the anchor. Now, of course, the thing with the Des Moines is it has very floaty arcs. They can be quite punishing for new players, but then again, if you have gotten used to the Baltimore arcs, then you should be used to the Des Moines arcs, since it has pretty much the same shells, it just has a significantly better reload rate. So the very first thing, I of course checked the scoreboard to see if they had any radar cruisers. They did not. So as soon as I see the enemy doesn't have a radar cruiser, that means I'm going to push into A extremely aggressively. The Des Moines has a fairly good concealment, almost as good as the ZA, not quite there, but very close to it. So I'm going to push aggressively into A to back up my DD buddy here. And my DD buddy, of course, is smoking me up to make it even easier for me to get in. This will ensure there's no way no one can contest A here, because first of all, if they want to go and fight the Udaloi, I will radar them, and they're gonna have a bad time. Now the enemy carrier, of course, as I said, this ship can be an absolute nightmare. The enemy carrier is in air superiority spec, and he doesn't know I'm here because I'm in the smoke, and he decides, well, he's gonna chase my buddy's planes into my AA. So this is where I decide, oh, they actually sent torps my way. This is where I decide it's time to pop defensive AA. And his air superiority spec isn't having a very good time in the Des Moines anti-air, I can tell you that. It's the amount of damage this ship does, even without, I'm not even focusing planes, because I'm mostly focusing on dodging torps and such. This is kind of something that's just happening in the background, and if you look at the plane counter there, you can just see how quickly the planes are melting everywhere around me. Because I'm more focused on actually killing these ships and dodging the torps than I am on the planes. It's just the fact that they happen to fly into my no fly, no go, do not come into this zone, basically. And that's exactly what the Des Moines is. Des Moines anti-air is such that you can even laugh. I used the radar to spot the Kagero for our carrier so he could strike him, which is why he is so low. But of course the Des Moines, it's such a nightmare in a position like this, because first of all, it's very hard to push into it when it's smoked up like this, because anyone trying to push in is going to eat massive damage. Now, if they angle, you get HE damage, and if they get broadside, well, the AP is of course quite legendary. I often highlight how strong USN AP is, and it's strong against everything. It doesn't matter if you're a battleship or cruiser or anything, your AP just hurts. It hurts a lot. Now the smoke ran out, so I'm starting to reverse, keeping myself angled, of course. We're gonna see if this random Fletcher guy is gonna smoke us up. If it does, nice. The Fletcher understands how strong this position is, so he does smoke us up. I did in fact compliment him later, because I consider it a bit of a rarity to actually have Fletchers do this for you. But he did get a compliment from me afterwards for doing this. So this position that I have is such a nightmare, because the enemy is focusing most of their forces on A. This is pretty common on this map. They try to go around A, they try to focus on A in general, but we have a smoked up Des Moines and they have no radar. And trying to push me out of this position is going to be such, like, even when all my battleship buddies, everyone is leaving me in this area, I'm pretty much alone, they are gonna have such a hard time getting rid of me from here. And it's very difficult. Both the DDs are here, both the Fubuki and the Kagero are here, but they have to be so careful about pushing in because of my radar, of course, and if you're spotted in the radar, you're gonna eat a ton of damage. They're constantly torping into the smoke because they really want to get rid of me, and they really want to try to recapture this point. But meanwhile, well, I'm gonna eat, what, one torp? That's not a big deal, I can heal it up. Meanwhile, I'm just absolutely wrecking any of these battleships or cruisers that are coming around. And these two DDs near me, well, they're just having a time of their life torping and shooting everything around me, because, well, they know they're pretty safe here, because anyone trying to push in will get killed by me. And any planes who come near this place, well, they're gonna get shot down. Like, I don't even notice that I'm shooting down planes here. You see I'm getting random plane kills, pop my defensive AA as soon as I see they're within range. And once again, this carrier who's running air superiority and trying to fight off my Taiho is once again losing all his planes. And that's kind of the thing. The Moines is one of the few cruisers in the entire game who can straight up laugh at T10 carriers. If you're a T10 carrier, you don't want to get anywhere near the Moines. You just don't want to. That's a no-go zone, no matter what. Even a full strike with like stacked up planes is going to get absolutely wrecked by a Des Moines with defensive AA on. It's just so brutal. So that's pretty much all his planes lost again. That was 19 planes I shot down in a row. All of them completely wrecked. This push on the left, well, the Bismarck is dying, the Hindenburg got personally wrecked, the Bismarck got torped and shot by my DDs, I'm personally dealing with the Hindenburg, who got completely destroyed. And I'm still cozy and happy in this smoke, and they can't get rid of me. You see how much firepower, how much stuff they're focusing. If you look at the rest of them, they have almost nothing on the rest of the map because, well, my team has already kept C and they're going to B, and well, most of the guys on this side have ran away and left me and the Udaloy here. But we don't have any issues because I'm a Des Moines in a very strong position. DD smokes up in front of me, I pop radar. Now here I make a bit of mistake. I thought my Udaloy, I didn't realize my Udaloy got killed by the torps. That's why I should have finished the Kagero here. I thought he would kill the Kagero, so I'm focused on the Fubuki instead. When I realized he's dead and no one will be killing the Kagero, I switched to him, but it's too late, he actually got away. So that was definitely a misplay from me. I should have made sure the Kagero got killed first. But the unfortunate torp catching him just as he was moving up to smoke up was, well, unfortunate. But still, I harass the Fubuki as long as the radar lasts, which should be running out about now. Then it's time for the Amage. Instantly switch to AP, and yes, battleships who give broadside, they don't have a fun time against the Des Moines. They don't have a fun time against this AP at all. It is very punishing, as you can see from this poor guy who's giving me broadside. And this is kind of what I mean. And the carrier, of course, he's constantly flying around this area and harassing them because the enemy air superiority Taiho, well, he can't do anything in this area. He's tried to harass these planes, he's tried to shoot them down, but there's nothing he can do because I'm around. So I basically completely nullified the enemy's carrier. I completely locked down this cap with the help of the DDs, of course. But in general, this has just been... I've been pretty much playing the same position the entire game. And the enemy, even though they have pulled so many resources, they have put so many planes, so all their DDs, all the battleship cruisers, all these efforts into dislodging me, and they have been completely unable. My smoke finally ran out, or well, my Udaloy smoke ran out, so I just start pushing then. I'm unfortunately a bit too broadside there, so I ate a lot of damage. But hey, not too big of a deal. The Fubuki is of course still here, and the Kagero, they've both been torping this the entire time. They're still trying to get rid of me from this position. The Bismarck turns in to rush me, but if you look, they only have 15 points. So when the Kagero shows himself, like he decides happily to do right here, well, that's a kill, and that's all the points we need to push this game to end the game basically. And of course, 161,000 damage, 670k credits, and of course a nice chunk of XP, and I did survive. Looking at the base XP, you can see just how of an insane of an impact it was. Almost 3,000 base XP and 56 planes shot down, and this game only lasted 8 minutes and 31 seconds. Like, it was literally an 8.5 minute game, and this is the kind of reward, and this is how just incredibly frustrating this ship was for the enemy. Anyway, I might as well show off my build while I'm at it. Right, as usual, I will start with the modules. Not really much to talk about here, but I'll move right on to the consumables. I run premium all of them, but if you're strapped for money, I recommend at least run the premium repair, well, heal and repair, so because those are the two things that affect your survivability the most. Upgrade wise, main armaments mod 1, AA guns mod 2 to buff that AA to 6k in range from its default one. Personally, I feel like the Des Moines AA could be a longer range by default, but well, you can spec into it here and get the 20% range. And get the gunfire control system mod as the 3 million range, increasing your range to 18.4 from the default 15.8. This is very important if you get standard battles or very static battles, or you just queue solo and such, where this is very important for harassing T10 battleships. Damage control 1 and 2. Des Moines is the only T10 cruiser where I run the damage control instead of the rudder shift. In fact, on Zao, Moskva, Hindenburg, even on Minotaur, I think I run the rudder shift. But on the Des Moines, I don't feel the need for it, because you spend so much of your time with your nose pointed against the target regardless, and the rudder shift on it is already excellent. So I run the reduced fire duration on this one. And finally, of course, stealth. Now, moving on, captain perks wise, basics of survivability is of course the first one, expert marksman is the second, third priority is superintendent, additional radar, additional heal, and of course additional AA if you would actually manage to use them all. Demolition expert is something I run, but honestly, if you queue up a lot with carriers, if you tend to queue, well, if you're buddy with a carrier and you play a lot with carriers, then AFT is obviously the better choice. But personally, I'm running Demolition Expert since I play a lot of solo, and I also find it extremely useful when you're fighting a lot of battleships and such and there's no carriers involved. And finally, of course, Concealment Expert, and when you have additional 3 points, you get Vigilance. Anyway, that was my quick Des Moines commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it.